Clouds out today and some light afternoon showers that are happening along the Cascades and a little bit along the Blues, but those will be clear and dry by this evening. If we take a look at our daily planner, we're going to be getting to the upper 70s in the Yakima area. Very, very hot today. We are above our averages in the Tri-Cities, 80 degrees and a whole lot of sun that we're seeing across the Tri-Cities, and also in Walla Walla, 77 degrees. Very hot day that's ahead of us. We're getting even hotter tomorrow. Have a great Thursday.
Several fire agencies were called to battle a large vegetation fire yesterday in West Richland. Fire crews in and around Benton and Franklin counties were called to the scene when the blaze broke out just after 11:30 a.m. Firefighters fought the flames near Canal Drive in East Grover Prairie Northeast. They had to work to stop the fire from jumping into a nearby neighborhood. Smoke could be seen from Pasco as late as 8:30 p.m. and fire crews reportedly cleared the scene just before 1 a.m. At this time, the cause of the fire is under investigation. Access to Bateman Island in Richland has been closed off after officials say a lightning strike caused more than 2 acres to burn there on Monday. Firefighters from Richland, Pasco, and West Richland battled the flames for several hours after the strike set a large area of dry vegetation on fire. No one was hurt. There is no timeline on when the island at the causeway will be reopened. Information can be found on the City of Richland's website. Schools across eastern Washington had to go into lockdown yesterday because of threats of violence. Walla Walla Public Schools says it appears these were all fake. The district says Walla Walla police got calls yesterday that referenced Wahai. Schools in Dayton, Pullman, and Spokane also got calls about violence, but none of them turned out to be true. Investigators have not said where the reports came from. We'll continue to update you as we get new information. Union Gap's new Library and Community Center is one step closer to opening, celebrating its groundbreaking ceremony yesterday afternoon. The old library building was deemed unsafe in 2012 and demolished in 2015. The new building will be right next to City Hall and the Police Department and include a community center and library. It will also host the Meals on Wheels program for seniors in Union Gap.
As time goes on and as technology develops, libraries become more and more and more important. Important for our youth in our community that need a place for after-school programs.
Once the Union Gap Library and Community Center is open, it will be the 17th library in the Yakima Valley Library System. The Yakima County Coroner is back to work after an incident with sheriff's deputies that ended with the coroner in handcuffs. The Yakima County prosecutor opted not to file charges against Jim Curtis, saying he accidentally knocked down a deputy while experiencing a mental health crisis on March 10th. Curtis voluntarily entered an inpatient treatment program for PTSD after that night. Cap KVU's Emily Goodell spoke to him in an exclusive interview about the experience and his plans moving forward.
People who are, they say, suffering from PTSD, they are truly suffering. They're truly suffering in their own little prison inside their minds.
It's a prison Yakima County Coroner Jim Curtis knows all too well. He lost his dad at 13, spent decades as a first responder, and was diagnosed with PTSD in 2015.
Basically, it's an accumulative injury to your brain. There's always negative thoughts. They're continuous. Negative thoughts from the time you get up and the time you go to bed. Just day-to-day challenges that we all go through can be overwhelming, and the person is in, we call fight or flight, and over a long period of time it's pretty detrimental.
Some cope in harmful ways.
For myself, it was alcohol was how I was trying to adapt and cope with it. That was used mainly so I could go to sleep at night. Numerous nightmares, even to the point where I would get up and be fearful of going back to sleep.
He was told he needed treatment, but refused to get it because of the stigma.
People would see me as weak or less than, but these are stories that I would tell myself, and it's part of the PTSD. And so that, and then the embarrassment of it and the shame of it.
Then his worst nightmare happened, a mental health crisis on March 10th that brought deputies to his home.
That was the worst event in my life, and to have that publicly displayed, it was very painful.
But it was also the catalyst for him to enter into an inpatient PTSD program for first responders at Deer Hollow Trauma Treatment Center in Utah.
I was there for 40 days. 12 hours a day. It's a lot of work, some of the hardest work I've ever done in my life. After treatment, I feel like total freedom and very, very trusting of others. And I haven't felt this good about myself again, like I said. So it was a great experience for me.
That's why he plans to start a support group with locals who have gone through the same program. He also hopes sharing his story will break the stigma that kept him from getting treatment for so long.
My worst nightmare happened. But in a way, it's a blessing because now I'm hopeful that it gives me a venue to get the information out there to help others, to let other people know that there is help out there and you're not the only one that's dealing with this.
In Yakima, Emily Goodell, Cap KVUE, local news.
1 in 3 first responders has PTSD, whether they know it or not. And if you think you might be one of them, reach out to Deer Hollow by calling 1-888-5-WE-KNOW. Let's take another look at the Giesa Stadium Skycam in Pasco. Riley Fitzgerald has all of today's weather details in her First Alert weather forecast. That's coming up. Plus, 3 years after the initial announcement, the White House is no longer declaring COVID-19 a public health emergency.
Our phones keep us constantly connected.
Please switch to airplane mode.
But what if they had a mode to help us actually connect? Introducing Us Mode, a mode that makes our phones less distracting, so we can focus on quality time. So the notifications we get are the ones that matter. So we're never distracted from what's most important. Visit US Cellular in-store or online to set up Us Mode for free, even if you're not a customer. US Cellular, built for us.
Throw away your distance and reading glasses. Join Drs. Kopstein and King for a free live webinar May 18th at noon and find out if RLE is right for you. K2 Vision RLE. No glasses, no contacts, no readers.
Make your first move with battery power made by Steel. Right now, save $50 on the FSA 57 battery trimmer. Real Steel. Find yours.
STCU and Cap KVUE Local News honor local volunteers by sharing their stories and donating $1,000 to their favorite charities. To nominate someone who's making a difference in Benton and Franklin counties, click on contests at yaktrynews.com.
The biggest Jeopardy event ever is in prime time. Tomorrow, 6 all-time greats.
What is grit?
Who's Caro?
What is Mean Girls?
One incredible tournament.
Oh, I think you should get this checked out. Bring it.
Who will be crowned the first ever Jeopardy Masters champion? If we have any more games like that, I don't know if my heart is going to hold out.
Jeopardy Masters primetime event continues tomorrow, 8/7 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu.
Next ET, J-Lo's big night, and our exclusive behind the scenes of Ben Affleck's new movie.
My daughter was like, that actually looks kind of interesting. That's the best review I could get.
Next ET.
Tonight at 7 on Cap KVUE.
Join us at Giesa Stadium on May 17th for the second annual Salute to Seniors. At 12:30, enjoy an all-you-can-eat and drink buffet before catching the Dust Devils action at 1:30. Don't miss out on this fun-filled day celebrating our beloved seniors.
Portion of Cap KVUE sponsored by Lord's Health and Trios Health, making communities healthier.
On January 31st, 2020, COVID-19 was declared a public health emergency in the U.S. But the Biden White House is not going to renew that declaration for a 14th time and will let it expire today. John Lawrence reports.
For more than 3 years, the COVID-19 pandemic has affected aspects of everyday life for people worldwide.
The United States got hit particularly hard by this pandemic. There's all sorts of reasons for that. But one of the big ones is that we were not very healthy going into this pandemic.
But the disease's grip on the globe is going away as the Biden White House is allowing the COVID public health emergency to expire Thursday. This comes as COVID-19 weekly cases and hospitalizations are down drastically from previous years.
I think for some people this is going to seem very arbitrary and accelerated, that the emergency part of this pandemic is coming to an end. For other people, they're going to say, hey, look, months ago, maybe even a year ago, I was sort of through this.
While this is a milestone moment, health officials, including CNN's chief medical correspondent Dr. Sanjay Gupta, say COVID-19 was still responsible for around 1,100 weekly deaths in the U.S. at the end of last month.
That's about 55,000 a year that would die if those numbers stayed the same, which is basically a really bad flu season. We could do better, but that's where we are right now.
But Gupta says the U.S., and the world for that matter, has tools to fight the virus.
There's no reason anyone should die of this disease anymore. We have the technology to prevent that from happening.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
The World Health Organization ended its global health emergency status for COVID-19 last week. WHO's data says there have been more than 765 million confirmed cases worldwide since the pandemic started. Governor Inslee is officially taking back the order requiring COVID-19 vaccines for some state government jobs. While Washington's COVID-19 emergency order ended last fall, some executive cabinet and small cabinet agencies still required vaccines. The governor's office says Inslee is planning to sign a budget soon that will give some state employees a $1,000 incentive payment if they keep their vaccine status up to date with recommended boosters. An mRNA vaccine that programs the body to fight pancreatic cancer is showing early promise. The personalized cancer vaccine is being tested by BioNTech, the German company that partnered with Pfizer to create a highly successful COVID vaccine. The pancreatic cancer vaccine is tailored to each patient's tumor by extracting the tumor and using genetic code from it. 16 patients were able to complete all phases of the pancreatic cancer vaccine study. 8 of them responded to the vaccine, which taught their immune systems to recognize and fight off cancer cells. None of those 8 saw their cancer return. Among the 8 who did not respond adequately to the vaccine, 2 have not seen their cancer come back. The surgeon who led the study points out it's a small study and shows correlation but not causation. Millions of Americans have been prescribed antidepressants for chronic pain, but a new study indicates that they may not help. 1 in 3 people live in chronic pain, defined as pain that lasts more than 3 years, or 3 months rather. A 2-year study of 25 different antidepressants showed that only one of them appeared to be effective in treating chronic pain. That medication is duloxetine, sold under the brand name Cymbalta. The authors of the study by the nonprofit Cochrane Group worry that other antidepressants may not only not help, but could hurt by causing side effects. While duloxetine has showed promise, researchers have not studied its long-term effects in long-term chronic pain conditions like fibromyalgia. The study concludes that the patients who fare best with chronic pain have close and consistent relationships with their healthcare provider. A birth control pill is a big step closer to being sold over the counter. Advisors to the Food and Drug Administration voted Wednesday in support of allowing people to buy the drug named Opill without a prescription. The panelists unanimously agreed that people would be able to use Opill safely and effectively without help from a healthcare worker. The FDA does not have to follow the advisor's recommendation, but it often does. Last year, 59 members of Congress asked the FDA commissioner to consider over-the-counter sales, saying it would cut down on unwanted pregnancies. The FDA is expected to make a decision on whether to approve Opill for over-the-counter sales this summer. Coming up, record numbers of migrants gather at the nation's southern border ahead of Title 42's expiration. And Riley Fitzgerald will return with a look at your First Alert forecast.
Save now with Bi-Mart's latest membership savings book, arriving exclusively in members' mailboxes this week. Our 16-page book has store-wide savings in every department. Find what you need for spring home projects indoor and out for less. Plus, don't forget Mom. From greeting cards to hanging baskets, we've got your Mother's Day covered. Save now with our latest savings book at Bi-Mart, your employee-owned membership store.
Here's to the moms, mamas, and mumsies. They deserve the mother of all Mother's Day treats, a DQ cake. With layers of creamy, world-famous soft serve, and a delicious fudge and crunch center. Conveniently customizable and ready for pickup from the DQ freezer. So grab yours. And let's raise our red spoons to a cake as sweet as she is. Aw. DQ. Happy tastes good.
What are you waiting for? Let's go. Who wants to come fix a penis?
I'm in.
I would have bet my money on the other one.
Jennifer Lopez is the mother of all action stars. Next Extra, we've got J-Lo dressed to kill as she premieres her new revenge movie. How she's gearing up for Mother's Day with Ben.
We have 5 beautiful children.
Next Extra.
Tonight at 7:30 on Cap KView.
Smoke City for Less is your one-stop shop in Kennewick, Richland, Pasco, West Richland, and Hermiston. Every location is conveniently located. And now, Smoke City for Less Hermiston has relocated to North 1st Street by AutoZone. An easy turnoff at $3.95 and you are there. For the lowest prices and largest selection of vape mods, the best batteries, tobacco products, Kratom, and specialty products too. Open 7 days a week, 5 locations, Kennewick, Richland, Pasco, West Richland, and the new location in Hermiston, off $3.95. Smoke City for Less. We smoke the competition.
If you're a new business or just need to get the word out on where you are like we did, then I highly recommend using Cap KView for your advertising.
Be your own success story. Team up with Cap KView Television and Phase 3 Digital. Advertising that gets results.
Next Live. Ed Sheeran. New album. New tour. New docuseries. Plus Ludacris from Fast 10.
Today at 9 on Cap KView. Live with Kelly and Mark today at 9 on Cap KView.
And now, Cap KView First Alert Weather with forecaster Riley Fitzgerald.
Happy Thursday, everyone. Hope you're having an amazing day today. We've got a hot one ahead of us, a lot of sun, just a few clouds, and some light afternoon showers, very similar to yesterday in the Cascades and along the Blues. If we take a look at our futurecast right now, we're seeing it very clear in the morning. As soon as we get to that afternoon, some light scattered showers again along the Cascades and the Blues. Those are gone by this evening. As we get into Friday morning, we see a lot of clearness, not a whole lot going on in terms of clouds or shower activity. By Saturday, we're seeing another very clear, very dry day that's ahead of us. For today, we're seeing mid to upper 70s in the Yakima Valley. In the Mid-Columbia, we are seeing upper 70s and lower 80s. And in the Blues, we are seeing mid to upper 70-degree temperatures. For tonight, it's a very dry and clear evening, upper 40s, lower 50s across our entire area this evening. For our wind outlook, we're seeing very low winds for today into tomorrow, picking up a little bit into our weekend. It's a pretty windy weekend on the way, around 15 to 20 miles per hour, settling back down into the start of next work week, staying around 10 miles an hour. So pretty low today, picking up into our weekend. If we take a look at our temperature trend, we are above average all week starting today, 80 degrees above average. Right now, we are about 5 degrees above average, picking up to around 15 to almost 20 degrees above our averages for our temperature trend. It's a very, very hot week that's ahead of us. Lately, we've been seeing in the past couple of weeks just a few days of very high temperatures, but this week it's very, very sustained as we make our way through the next couple of days. For our 7-day forecast, a lot of sun, a lot of temperatures in the upper 80s and into the 90s. Overnight lows are staying in the 50s and the 60s. So it's a very hot week that's ahead of us. For the Tri-Cities, a lot of 90s. You typically see these kind of temperatures about a month from now, especially as sustained as it is for the next couple of days. Again, those lows in the upper 50s, lower to mid 60s. For Walla Walla, very hot days that are ahead of us as well, mostly upper 80s for our 7-day forecast. Hot day today, once again, even hotter tomorrow. A few scattered showers for this afternoon in the Cascades and along the Blues. Other than that, a very dry and clear day that's ahead of us. Have a great Thursday.
Crowds of migrants are gathered at the border this morning with Title 42 set to expire later today. Hundreds of National Guard members are deployed, some in riot gear. The pandemic-era policy allowed the U.S. to turn away migrants citing concerns over COVID. ABC's Lindsay Watts has more on new warnings from the Biden administration.
This morning, migrants are crowding at the southern border.
In California, volunteers serve sandwiches in San Diego.
Behind us we have migrants who are asylum seekers, some of whom have been here for 6 days, 7 days.
In Texas, drone footage shows the lines in El Paso. And in Brownsville, the National Guard in place as Title 42 expires late tonight. President Biden says it's going to be chaotic at the border for a while.
Look, the purpose of what we're doing now is making legal immigration more streamlined, illegal immigration shorter term and move in a direction that people know that there's a legal way to get here and not a legal way.
A new policy by the Biden administration will require migrant families seeking asylum to be subjected to home curfews and GPS monitoring while immigration officials determine whether they should be deported.
We are making it very clear that our border is not open, that crossing irregularly is against the law, and that those who are not eligible for relief will be quickly returned.
House Republicans expected to vote today on a new bill that would further restrict asylum and build more of the border wall. President Biden says he'll veto the bill if it passes.
If you don't like our bill, what's your answer? What's your plan? What are you going to do?
Aid workers say while some migrants are aware of Title 42, many are not.
They're risking everything to come to the United States because they cannot be in their home country.
Another new rule by the Biden administration says migrants must have paperwork filed before they arrive, or they'll have to wait 5 years before applying again. And we have details on the Biden administration's program to track migrant families in the U.S. while they go through an expedited deportation process. Family Expedited Removal Management, or FIRM, is designed as an alternative to detention. According to multiple sources familiar with the plan, families must stay under home confinement as long as they're in the U.S. The head of the household must wear a GPS ankle monitor in place of being detained. Immigration officials say the families will also have a curfew in one of 4 cities. They can still claim asylum and go through the process if they qualify. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement is now using cell phones to keep up with released migrants. ICE officials say they are monitoring nearly 250,000 migrants using smartphones and other devices. The phones are a part of ICE's ongoing Alternatives to Detention program and are given to migrants released from custody. They cannot make calls or access the internet, but they can send out alerts to the agents if the migrants are not in compliance with release conditions. The devices are programmed with the app SmartLink. ICE says the migrants who are in the ATD program have first been screened and vetted for public safety risks before being released from custody. As border towns prepare for an onslaught of migrants crossing the Border Patrol is rounding up some of them who are already in the U.S. Border Patrol Chief Anthony Good says 917 migrants have turned themselves over to authorities in El Paso, Texas. That happened over the past 2 days as dozens of federal agents handed out flyers in the streets and asked migrants to surrender. Those who did were given notices to appear in court. 44 additional migrants were apprehended. Some critics say the approach was too heavy-handed because the agents wore flak jackets and had guns. Border Patrol officials say agents are law enforcement workers and the attire is appropriate.
We all know that the immigration process is broken and it needs to be fixed. There is no end game. In a community like El Paso or anywhere in the Rio Grande Valley, we cannot continue for infinity. This is not a number that's a good number for us.
When we return on Good Morning Northwest, artificial intelligence may be able to help you make better financial decisions. We'll tell you how next.
Shelter. Out here, it's the most important thing. But the good thing is, my Ford F-150 provides enough power to keep working.
Get a great deal on an F-150, only at your local Ford dealer.
Where's the most mouth-watering pizza and best salad bar in town? Well, Hubby's Pizza, of course. Order Hubby's Pizza tonight and get a large 16-inch pepperoni pizza for just $15.99. Mouth-watering yumminess. The perfect fresh dough and toppings for a quick and easy dinner. Dine in or carry out. Come acquire the Hubby's Habit, your hometown favorite for nearly 45 years.
Watch me. Watch me tumble, jump, and soar. When our squad is on point, we own the floor. Dazzling stunts and dances are my jam. Pain once caused issues, but they had a plan. A life-changing brace with no surgery to fear. Activity without limits, one more reason to cheer. Watch me. Industry-leading scoliosis treatment at Shriners Children's. The most amazing care anywhere.
It's great to see ya. Come on down. Welcome to Sea Galley. Dinner tonight or the Shipwreck Lounge. May I suggest our surf and turf special, prime rib and crab.
When it comes to supplying the farm, come to Northwest Farm Supply. Your hometown store has a wide selection of everything egg-related. Plus, we're the largest Purina dealer in Hermiston. Products you trust from people who care. Northwest Farm Supply in Prosser, Hermiston, and Othello.
Oh my gosh, Chris Bryant, Freddie Freeman, hustling him for the new DQ Summer Blizzard menu? Oh, 5 iconic flavors here for a limited time, like new peanut butter puppy chow.
Wow.
And s'mores is back.
Wow.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Wow is right.
Hey guys.
Wow.
The new DQ Summer Blizzard menu. Hustle in before it's gone.
DQ. Happy tastes good.
That sound. Wolves. Boy, they sound hungry.
Load up, wolves!
Good thing this Ford Explorer has Sync 3 technology. Keeps them entertained on the way to dinner.
Get a great deal on an Explorer, only at your local Ford dealer.
Portion of Cap KVU sponsored by Lord's Health and Trios Health, making communities healthier.
Would you let a chatbot powered by artificial intelligence make your financial decisions? Well, 2 recent reports are adding fuel to the debate. They're showing that ChatGPT outperformed experts when it came to picking stocks. And experts say AI has the potential to revolutionize finance and help you manage your money. Shelley Malashi has more.
Artificial intelligence already impacting the way we work, live, and play. And now evidence showing its impact is also disrupting the financial industry. ChatGPT, a chatbot powered by AI, can apparently pick stocks better than your fund manager. That's according to a new experiment conducted by the financial comparison site Finder.com.
It just doesn't carry the bias that most humans do. So I'm not surprised we're seeing the first wave of AI outperform humans when it comes to portfolio management.
The results of the experiment showed that during an 8-week period, a basket of 38 stocks selected by ChatGPT gained nearly 5%, outperforming 10 leading investment funds in the UK, which reported an average loss of 0.8%. Meanwhile, a recent study from the University of Florida revealed ChatGPT could predict the stock price movements of specific companies more accurately than some more basic analysis models. While major funds have used AI for years, economist Joe Brusales says the technology is now in the hands of the average consumer for free, and it's up to you to decide whether it can guide your financial decisions.
The promise of this is for American households and their finances is that it's going to bolster the overall management of money. You're going to have better returns at lower prices, and you're going to be able to do more and invest in a wider array of products that suit your own individual preferences and needs.
Experts say AI can also help you create a budget and tell you how much to save per month in order to reach your long-term goals like saving for a home or retirement.
Google showcased new hardware at its annual developer conference Wednesday, but what the company had to say about search might shake things up even more. Google started the event by showcasing its new flagship Pixel phone. This time it's going to be foldable, which comes at a hefty price tag, $1,800. The company also unveiled a non-foldable version that will only cost $500. Google went on to announce it is incorporating artificial intelligence into its core search engine. Users can expect a noticeably different look and feel as AI answers search queries and questions. It's part of how Google is trying to protect search engine market share as new AI competitors come online. Coming up, Congressman George Santos has pleaded not guilty to 13 criminal charges brought against him.
At the Blue Mountain Station in Dayton, Washington, we invest in community. Our partners include Sweet Cheeks Bake Shop, Cedar Rain Spirits, Onyx Farms, Ray's Roast, Red Band Cellars, Bard and Bead Meadery, and the Co-op and Commercial Kitchen. We invite you to explore Dayton today.
Woo! Zip line at Triple Play, baby! I don't have wings, but I'm flying! Look, I'm a pterodactyl! Ah! Spoiler alert, it goes backwards too! Hey Astrid, what's up, girl? Oh, me? Just zipping along on the zip train.
Triple Play has fun for everyone, including the brand new zipline ride, and it's all attached to a cozy hotel.
You know I'm gonna give this 2 talons up.
At Vapiano, we invite you to slow down, enjoy the journey. Make a reservation today. Taste wine where it's created. Sample a variety of wines from Sauvignon Blanc, Cabernet Sauvignon, Syrah, and make it a day to remember. Vapiano Estates, Walla Walla.
It's a showcase event at Broadmoor RV Superstore in Pasco. Join us May 19th through the 21st for the Spring Showcase featuring Forest River. The first 50 people each day will be entered for a chance to win special giveaways. How about a sale on 169 RSK MSRP $40,000 plus, now just $24,990. Save over $18,000 on a 23 Vibe, now just $37,990. Don't miss the Spring Showcase only at Broadmoor RV Superstore in Pasco.
Make camping fun.
This all-new Aria is an elegant EV.
Yeah, with 389 horsepower. And all-wheel drive.
It's beautiful.
It's a beast.
It's electric.
With an edge.
Oh, let's go with that.
Get a low $429 per month lease or get 2.99% financing for 36 months on the all-new Aria.
For over 600 different premium cigars, including every cigar rated 95 and higher in the last decade. It's The Educated Cigar. For 115 different fine pipe tobaccos and 55 different Briarwood pipes from England, Germany, and Italy. It's The Educated Cigar. For 95 and higher rated wines and White Bluff IPAs, it's The Educated Cigar in Richland.
Smoke City for Less. We are open 7 days a week with now 5 locations.
Republican Congressman George Santos is out on bail after being arrested yesterday on 13 criminal charges. And just hours after being found liable for sexual abuse, former President Donald Trump's 2020 campaign has been subpoenaed by Smartmatic voting system in its lawsuit against Fox News. And our Riley Fitzgerald will help you get ready for a sunny and warm day ahead. Good Morning Northwest continues right now.
From Camp KVUE Local News, this is Good Morning Northwest.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Jill Sperling. We'll have your national headlines in just a moment, but first we're handing it over to Riley Fitzgerald for a look at your weather conditions today.
Happy Thursday, everyone. Hope you're having an amazing day. We've got a very, very hot one that's ahead of us, mostly sunny. You won't see too many clouds out today, and some light afternoon showers that are happening along the Cascades and a little bit along the Blues, but those will be clear and dry by this evening. If we take a look at our daily planner, we're going to be getting to the upper 70s in the Yakima area. Very, very hot today. We are above our averages in the Tri-Cities, 80 degrees, and a whole lot of sun that we're seeing across the Tri-Cities, and also in Walla Walla, 77 degrees. Very hot day that's ahead of us. We're getting even hotter tomorrow. Have a great Thursday.
New York Congressman George Santos has pleaded not guilty to charges ranging from fraud to money laundering. And today he faces a hearing in yet another case involving alleged fraud. ABC's Lindsay Watts has more.
This morning, Congressman George Santos is out on bail after pleading not guilty to 13 federal counts, including wire fraud, money laundering, and theft of public funds.
The reality is it's a witch hunt.
Prosecutors claim Santos used campaign funds on personal expenses, including to buy designer clothes. He's also accused of filing false unemployment claims, collecting $24,000 in benefits during the pandemic, even though he had a $120,000 a year job at an investment firm.
Why would you apply for unemployment benefits when you had a job making $120,000 a year?
Rachel, this is part of my defense. This is inaccurate information, and I will get to clear my name.
Santos, famous for lying about his resume, is also charged with making false statements to Congress in his financial disclosures. At least 12 House Republicans have called on him to resign or be expelled.
It's a distraction, and it's a punchline for a lot of commentary regarding the Republican Party that we don't need.
The Republican House could expel Santos with a 2/3 vote, but that would trigger a special election in a swing district, which could threaten the GOP's already slim majority in the House. Speaker Kevin McCarthy says he will not support Santos for re-election, but for now, he's not calling on him to resign.
He can go through his time of trial. We'll find out how the outcome is.
Meanwhile, in Brazil, a hearing is scheduled today on the allegation of check fraud against Santos. Brazilian authorities say in 2008 he used stolen checks to buy clothes. Voting technology company Smartmatic is subpoenaing former President Donald Trump's 2020 campaign as part of its lawsuit against Fox News. The document from April is now public due to a court filing Tuesday in the $2.7 billion defamation lawsuit. The subpoena asks seeks documents related to Smartmatic, Fox News, and Trump's false allegations of election fraud. If the campaign fights it, a judge could quash, narrow, or uphold the request. Like Dominion Voting Systems, Smartmatic argues baseless conspiracy theories about the 2020 election hurt its reputation. Dominion's settlement with Fox totaled almost $790 million. Let's take a quick look outside as we head to break. Argusa Stadium Skycam showing nice blue skies. Riley Fitzgerald will have more details about what's to come today in her weather forecast. That's coming up. Plus, one Eastern Washington teen is headed to New York to give a TEDx talk after starting online art classes at just 11 years old.
Find out how Idaho Fish and Game is working to rebuild the sturgeon population.
These are the largest and longest lived fish in Idaho. Some of these fish can live to 100 years or more.
Fly the Northwest, tonight at 6 on KVU Local News.
Get 2.9% APR for 36 months plus $1,500 purchase allowance on an XT5 and XT6 when you finance through Cadillac Financial.
When you get Spectrum One, you get fast, reliable internet for $49.99. I mean, I could stop right there, but I won't because, surprise, you find out you're also getting free advanced Wi-Fi with Security Shield, which makes it an even better deal. Until another surprise, you find out you're also getting a free line of unlimited mobile with 5G. Amazing! Surprise again, you also get Speed Boost, which makes your Spectrum mobile speeds even faster when you're connected to Wi-Fi. Surprise, it's me. That's a lot of surprises. I should just popped out of that. Point is, with Spectrum One, you're gonna be very surprised by all the free stuff you get. Or you would be if I hadn't already just told you. But still, when you get in there, could you act surprised? A little something for the people in the store.
Get Spectrum One, internet for just $49.99, plus free advanced Wi-Fi and a free line of unlimited mobile. Visit spectrum.com/surprise, a Spectrum store, or call 844-7-SURPRISE today.
When great food meets delivery, people just smile. Taste and See Deli in Yakima offers delicious catering that's home cooked like family. And whether you need a dozen box lunches or 100 breakfast burritos, we've got you covered. Give us a call or stop by. Taste and See Deli.
Shelter. Out here, it's the most important thing. But the good thing is, my Ford F-150 provides enough power to keep working.
Get a great deal on an F-150, only at your local Ford dealer.
Whether you're looking for your next houseplant, getting those spring flowers in the ground, or planting your dream garden landscape, Queensgate Gardens is the place to go. Queensgate Gardens in Richland. Let's grow together.
That sound. Wolves. Boy, they sound hungry.
Load up, wolves!
Good thing this Ford Explorer has Sync 3 technology. Keeps them entertained on the way to dinner.
Get a great deal on an Explorer, only at your local Ford dealer.
The governor signs into law what's being called Lucian's Act, and Representative Gina Mossbrucker says Cap KVU's Emily Goodell's reporting helped make it happen.
We have somebody here who's not just reporting this.
Local news that makes a difference. Cap KVU Local News.
Next Live. Ed Sheeran. New album. New tour. New docuseries. Plus Ludacris from Fast 10.
Today at 9 on Cap KVU.
An Eastern Washington teen will step into the national spotlight. She's flying to New York to give a TEDx talk, and she's only 14. Sindhu Sirpanini of Liberty Lake began to teach art online 3 years ago during the pandemic. In 2021, she received a Presidential Recognition Award for more than 500 hours of volunteer work. Her TED Talk is titled The Art of Rewriting Your Story, Sharpening Your Mindset.
Kind of about how there's going to be like negative obstacles in your life and how you can't let them break you down and you have to get back up from them because good things will come over time.
This is her second TEDx talk. She credits the pandemic and having a lot of time on her hands that allowed her to work on her creativity and passions to get her where she is today. She sells her artwork and has donated more than $20,000 to organizations that help homeless and low-income families. We'll be right back with Riley Fitzgerald's First Alert forecast. That's coming up in just 3 minutes. And there could be some relief this summer for Washington families with children enrolled in the state school system. That's coming up on Good Morning Northwest.
Engine 19, let's go! Rise up like I'm marching through the fire. Rise up as the flames getting higher. We're all in this together.
We're firefighters, and we do it because we love this job.
It's time to get the tax break you deserve this week at Walker's Furniture, as they offer a double discount with 18% off. Or no minimum purchase, no money down, 5 years financing with 60 equal payments.
There's no better time to freshen up your living room, dine in style, or get that bedroom set you've always wanted. Plus, get a double discount or 5 years financing with 60 equal payments.
Making it the perfect time to furnish your life for less at Walker's.
Come shop the largest selection of RVs in the Tri-Cities at Appleway RV. Save big on Class A's, Class C's, travel trailers, toy haulers, and fifth wheels. Shop America's top brands, Rockwood, Tiffin, Newmar, Dynamax, and more, with a huge selection of pre-owned RVs. Plus, get maximum value for your trade, all with no payments for 90 days. Come shop the clearance event at Appleway RV Pasco.
When you or your loved one has been seriously injured, you want the best law firm on your side. Abeta Nelson Injury Law is the most highly awarded and experienced personal injury firm in Central Washington. Our office has secured the most million-dollar car crash recoveries in Central Washington. You can trust us to have your back. The time for bringing your claim is limited, so don't wait. Call us today for a no-obligation consultation. Abeta Nelson, we take your injury personally.
Throw away your distance and reading glasses. Join Drs. Kopstein and King for a free live webinar May 18th at noon and find out if RLE is right for you. K2 Vision RLE. No glasses, no contacts, no readers.
Do you have any land that gets no use? Save some money by using an American-made power racking system. It's a more cost-effective option than a standard pole and concrete method. Invest in green energy with the pros at Solar Power Northwest. Solar Power Northwest, a better way to solar.
Your roof protects your home and family every day. Shouldn't it be the best roof possible? With Air Roofing, a family-owned business in Prosser, you'll see why our customer reviews speak for themselves. No job too small, big enough to take care of your roofing needs. Air Roofing, a company built on quality and reputation.
Welcome to the Village Bistro. We're happy you're here. I wanted to share with you some of the things we have on our menu. One of my favorite things is our lemon ricotta pancakes, topped with blueberries and powdered sugar and butter, and oh my, they are so delicious. You gotta try our 4-cheese mac and cheese, our burgers, Some say they're the best in town. We love to get to know each customer that comes in, and we want you to feel like family when you're with us.
This newscast sponsored by Dairy Queen. And now, KapKVU First Alert Weather with forecaster Riley Fitzgerald.
Happy Thursday, everyone. Hope you're having an amazing day today. We've got a hot one ahead of us, a lot of sun, just a few clouds, and some light afternoon showers, very similar to yesterday in the Cascades and along the Blues. If we take a look at our futurecast right now, we're seeing it very clear in the morning. As soon as we get to that afternoon, some light scattered showers again along the Cascades and the Blues. Those are gone by this evening. As we get into Friday morning, we see a lot of clearness, not a whole lot going on in terms of clouds or shower activity. By Saturday, we're seeing another very clear, very dry day that's ahead of us. For today, we're seeing mid to upper 70s in the Yakima Valley. In the Mid-Columbia, we are seeing upper 70s and lower 80s. And in the Blues, we are seeing mid to upper 70-degree temperatures. For tonight, it's a very dry and clear evening, upper 40s, lower 50s across our entire area this evening. For our wind outlook, we're seeing very low winds for today into tomorrow, picking up a little bit into our weekend. It's a pretty windy weekend on the way, around 15 to 20 miles per hour, settling back down into the start of next work week, staying around 10 miles an hour. So pretty low today, picking up into our weekend. If we take a look at our temperature trend, we are above average all week, starting today, 80 degrees above average. Right now, we are about 5 degrees above average, picking up to around 15 to almost 20 degrees above our averages for our temperature trend. It's a very, very hot week that's ahead of us. Lately, we've been seeing in the past couple of weeks just a few days of very high temperatures, but this week it's very, very sustained as we make our way through the next couple of days. For our 7-day forecast, a lot of sun, a lot of temperatures in the upper 80s and into the 90s. Overnight lows are staying in the 50s and the 60s. So it's a very hot week that's ahead of us. For the Tri-Cities, a lot of 90s. You typically see these kind of temperatures about a month from now, especially as sustained as it is for the next couple of days. Again, those lows in the upper 50s, lower to mid 60s. For Walla Walla, very hot days that are ahead of us as well, mostly upper 80s for our 7-day forecast. Hot day today, once again, even hotter tomorrow. A few scattered showers for this afternoon in the Cascades and along the Blues. Other than that, a very dry and clear day that's ahead of us. Have a great Thursday.
$120. That's how much some parents across Washington will receive for each child they have enrolled in public schools, no matter their income. That money will come in the form of an EBT card going out in the mail for summer break. The money could go a long way for families in the summer, but others may have no need for it. Vanessa Perez explains why for some families the money means relief.
Having access to food beyond the school year is critical for all students. Mom of 6, Lori, received last summer's round of funds. She's looking forward to them this time around.
Eggs are twice as expensive, cereal is twice as expensive. So to have that a little bit relief come this summer is a nice thing for myself and the other moms that I were talking to were like, they like to eat lunch. They like to eat dinner and snacks and everything's just really expensive. So having that relief benefit coming is helpful to everybody.
Gagnon believes families will be able to breathe a sigh of relief during the hot summer.
These are kids. The money is for the kids, regardless of if other people need, if they have enough, the kids need food. And right now, even a little bit, even if you have money, it's a help.
Schools in the district are in the community eligibility provision, meaning all students have access to free breakfast and lunch through the year. The superintendent says this kind of support is more important than ever because of inflation.
In order for kids to be healthy and happy and learn and grow, that access to nutrition is critically important. And so that's an area that becomes part of our mission, is supporting families in our community in that process. And we know that food insecurity is a real issue and a real hardship for our families.
Making meals accessible outside of schools.
For families who haven't received an EBT card before, you'll receive a letter and cards in the mail. If you have no need for the funds, you can decline the benefits, but those funds cannot be gifted or donated. This morning, we're getting a better look at human DNA thanks to a project that involved key input from researchers at the University of Washington. Scientists have had a DNA template that they use for research for decades now, but it was mostly based on one person, which doesn't help us when it comes to learning about diversity. Now scientists are building what they call a pangenome, a DNA template built with information from dozens of people all around the world.
Overall, the pangenome reference, which actually includes multiple human genome of diverse origin, will help us and other scientists as well as clinicians to actually better diagnose and treat diseases in the future.
Researchers say the next step is looking for pieces of DNA that can basically be turned on or turned off in ways that impact genetic disorders. Wednesday morning, top lawmakers in the Oregon State Senate met for the first time since Republican senators walked out 1 week ago. The Oregon Capitol Chronicle reports the meeting did not end the walkout. Republicans are pushing to set aside nearly 24 bills that Democrats call a kill list. Without Republicans in the chamber, the Oregon State Senate cannot vote on proposed laws. But there's a new deadline this year. In Oregon, state lawmakers can no longer run for re-election if they have 10 or more unexcused absences from the legislature. We'll be right back with the morning sprint and a final check on your forecast. But first, a look at what's ahead on Good Morning America.
In this morning's GMA First Look, a miracle rescue.
We were hoping that he wasn't walking around at night and hunkered down.
8-year-old Nancy Nemi spending 2 full days in a Michigan state park, lost after separating from his family while trying to make his way back to his campsite.
My brother came out and there's no cell service out there whatsoever. So they took some time to search for him and couldn't find him. They decided they needed to give up and call for help.
That call setting off a frantic search. The state park, some 60,000 acres, almost 300 people helping.
It's very difficult terrain out there. It's hilly, it's wet, muddy. There's still spots with snow.
And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll hear from Nancy in his own words about the harrowing ordeal. With your GMA First Look, I'm Eva Pilgrim, ABC News, New York.
Sometimes the lows of bipolar depression feel darkest before dawn. With Caplyta, there's a chance to let the light shine through and light tomorrow with the hope from today. This is a chance to let in the light. Caplyta is a once-daily pill that is proven to deliver significant relief across bipolar depression. Unlike some medicines that only treat bipolar 1, Caplyta treats both bipolar 1 and bipolar 2 depression. And in clinical trials, movement disorders and weight gain were not common.
Call your doctor about sudden mood changes, behaviors, or suicidal thoughts. Antidepressants may increase these risks in young adults. Elderly dementia patients have increased risk of death or stroke. Report fever, confusion, stiff or uncontrollable muscle movements which may be life-threatening or permanent. These aren't all the serious side effects.
In the darkness of bipolar 1 and 2 depression, Caplyta can help you let in the light. Ask your doctor about Caplyta today. Find savings and support at Caplyta.com.
Now, the morning sprint.
Time right now is 6:52. We're going to get to Riley's local forecast in a moment, but first a look at this morning's top stories. A large vegetation fire broke out near Canal Drive in East Grover Prairie Northeast in West Richland yesterday. Fire crews from Benton and Franklin counties were called to the scene when the fire started just after 11:30 a.m. They had to work to stop the fire from jumping into a nearby neighborhood. Fire crews reportedly cleared the scene just before 1 this morning. The cause of the fire is under investigation. Access to Bateman Island in Richland has been closed off after officials say a lightning strike caused more than 2 acres to burn there on Monday. Firefighters from Richland, Pasco, and West Richland battled the flames for several hours after the strike set a large area of dry vegetation on fire. No one was hurt. There is no timeline on when the island at the causeway will be reopened. Schools across eastern Washington had to go into lockdown yesterday because of threats of violence. Walla Walla Public Schools says it appears these were all fake. The district says Walla Walla police got calls yesterday that referenced Wahai. Schools in Dayton, Pullman, and Spokane also got calls about violence, but none of them turned out to be true. Investigators have not said where the reports came from. Union Gap's new library and community center is one step closer to opening after a groundbreaking ceremony yesterday afternoon. The old library building was deemed unsafe in 2012 and demolished in 2015. The new building will be right next to City Hall and the police department and include a community center and library. Once the Union Gap Library and Community Center is open, it will be the 17th library in the Yakima Valley Library System. Washington Public Lands Commissioner Hillary Franz announced she is running for governor. Hillary Franz became the Commissioner of Public Lands in 2017 and since then has focused on getting the legislature to invest in wildfire prevention. Franz says she's running for governor to protect communities' land and water and to address the housing crisis and income inequality. Washington Attorney General Bob Ferguson has also announced his plans to run for governor in 2024. As the national public health emergency expires, Governor Inslee is taking back the order requiring COVID-19 vaccines for some state government jobs. While Washington's COVID-19 emergency order ended last fall, some executive cabinet and small cabinet agencies still required vaccines. The governor's office says Inslee is planning to sign a budget soon that will give some state employees a $1,000 incentive payment if they keep their vaccine status up to date with recommended boosters. Hundreds of National Guard members are deployed at the border this morning as crowds of migrants are gathered ahead of Title 42 set to expire later today. The pandemic era policy allowed the U.S. to turn away migrants citing concerns over COVID. A new policy by the Biden administration will require migrant families seeking asylum to be subjected to home curfews and GPS monitoring while immigration officials determine whether they should be deported. Congressman George Santos is out on bail after pleading not guilty to 13 federal counts, including wire fraud, money laundering, and theft of public funds. Prosecutors claim Santos used campaign funds on personal expenses, including to buy designer clothes. He's also accused of filing false unemployment claims, collecting $24,000 in benefits during the pandemic, even though he had a $120,000 a year job at an investment firm. An Eastern Washington teen will step into the national spotlight. She's flying to New York to give a TEDx talk, and she's only 14. Sindhu Serpanini of Liberty Lake began to teach art online 3 years ago during the pandemic. In 2021, she received a Presidential Recognition Award for more than 500 hours of volunteer work. Her TED Talk is titled The Art of Rewriting Your Story, Sharpening Your Mindset.
Happy Thursday, everyone. Hope you're having an amazing day today. It's a very hot one that's ahead of us, mostly sunny. You might just see a few clouds out there today. Some light afternoon shower along the cities, along the Cascades, and a little bit along the Blues as well. If we take a look at our futurecast this morning, we're starting out very dry, but again, those showers pick up towards the afternoon along the Cascades and the Blues, but those are light and quick as we make our way into Friday, a very dry and clear evening, and then into Friday afternoon and evening, just another very dry and clear day that's ahead of us for our Friday and into our weekend. Temps for today, mid to upper 70s for the Yakima Valley. In the Mid-Columbia, we're seeing upper 70s and lower 80s, and in the Blues, we are seeing mid to upper 70s today. A very hot day today. Have a fantastic Thursday.
Thanks for joining us on Good Morning Northwest. GMA is next. Cap KVUE Local News is back tonight at 5, and you can always find the latest updates on our website, yaktrynews.com.